Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Amud Yomi Shiur. What a lovely day. Klal Yisrael is in Soris. So why is the day lovely? Because we're about to learn Torah. And here you come. Good morning, everybody. We are about to embark on the last daf of Kiddushin. Raboisa, aren't you excited? Nes Masechtes Makos. Siyum here in Avos Shalom, Ramat B'Shemesh, Nachal Lachish 33. Yeah, 33 Nachal Lachish. There will be a Siyum Thursday, 1:45. Everyone should be here. Everyone's invited. 1:45. I'm sorry. 1:45, not 1:45. Apologies. 1:45. I'll correct you today. So we are going today to continue Hilchas Yichud, and I feel there are a lot of holes in whatever. There are a lot of holes we have to fill in, especially in the halachic side. The whole business with the men inside, women outside, with what I call the kosher office, still needs to be explored and explained. Today we're going to look a little bit in the Rambam inside and Shulchan Aruch to get a clear picture. And I will correct something I said wrong yesterday. The Tosfos Rosh says that before they blinded the eyes of the Yetzer Hara, there was no natural taiva, not even by goyim or by Jews, to be with one's mother. That is such a distorted, sick thing that even a normal human being would not want to be with his mother. And he proves it from the Gemara in Sanhedrin. There was a wicked king, a Jewish one, called Amon with an Aleph, not an Ayin, and he had relations with his mother. So they asked him, "Are you enjoying the place you came from?" So he said, "No." "So why are you doing it?" Lachis. He wanted to anger Hashem by doing such a thing, to be chayv skila. That's what he wanted, dafka. But naturally, that's not the case. So why did they have to blind the eyes of the Yetzer Hara to make sure you're not attracted to your relatives? The relatives means the sister, brother and sister. So why aren't you allowed to live with your sister long term, like over a month? Because there's you're not attracted to your sister as much as you are to other girls in the street, but there's a little bit of Yetzer Hara there too, as opposed to the mother, daughter, but there's no Yetzer Hara b'chlal. Okay? Again, there are sick people everywhere, but that's not the normal way. So now let's continue, and then we're going to get to the end of the next Mishnah. Then we'll have Bezras Hashem a kind of halachic summary of the whole thing of Yichud. Let's continue now into Yichud with relatives. Omar Rove. We are now in the line Omar Rove. The line, if you start from the beginning of the line starts with the word Odom. Omar Rove Misyached Odom. It's about 10 or more lines from the bottom of the page. Misyached Odom im shtei yevomis. One person, although we know that one person should not have Yichud with two women, because two women would cover up for each other, right? And also one of them would get the other to also sin, so she should be a partner in sin. And then she put her foot into it, then she can't snitch on the other one. So when do they have this sisterhood and this kind of mutual trust between women? Naturally, they're friends, but some women tend to hate each other, and they're not going to cover up for each other. Misyached Odom im shtei yevomis. Two yevomis are two sisters-in-law. They are married to two brothers. Yeah, in other words, shtei achoyos neshei shnei achin. They are married to two brothers. Why do they hate each other? Because they are potentially two tzoros. When one gets married, she knows if my husband dies with no children, I will automatically be her co-wife, right? I'll fall into the hands of her husband, right? My new brother-in-law. So I'm a potential tzara with the other one. And that creates some kind of tension already then. And therefore, they are not the best of friends. And if one sins, the other one would snitch. And no, they would not, they would tell on each other. And therefore, a person is allowed to have yichud with these two yevomis. They shtei tzoros, all the more so. Two married women married to the same men. Then naturally they compete for the same heart, so the same pocket, and they don't like each other naturally. Im isha v'chamoisa, with a woman and her mother-in-law. Yeah, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Okay, that's not news. And now the Gra and the Bach add the girsa im isha v'chamoisa, and then im isha ubas chamoisa, a woman and the daughter of her mother-in-law, meaning sisters-in-law. Yeah, your wife and your sister. Your wife and your sister are not naturally friendly. Im isha ubas baila. a woman and her stepdaughter, or her, half daughter, her bas baila, the daughter of her husband. So these women, again, you can see them laughing and shopping and besties and friendies. But Lamaise, when push comes to shove, they're not friendly enough to cover up for each other. Yeah, there's friendly and there's friendly. Many people could be friendly up to a point. You can be friendly with your some kind of doctor in the kupa from a different nation. Not going to be over friendly with him because we're not friends with that nation, for example. Yeah, so they're not going to be so friendly ad kedekach to sin and cover up for the other one. Now comes another vernogel alocha in isha v'tinoikes sheodas ta'ambia then museres atzmalabia. Again, I'm repeating isha v'tinoikes, which means a woman and a young girl. This is vernogel alocha. You want to have yichud with a woman, not for anything bad. You have to have a meeting with a woman alone in your house. I don't know, interior designer. So you say, okay, I'll bring a young girl to be a shomeres. People do that. She'll be the guard. She'll be the one making sure nothing happens. What kind of girl? What age group is that? Not too young and not too small. Shiodas ta'am bia, which means that girl doesn't mean she tasted bia. It means Rashi says kloimar mahi bia. She knows what sexual relations. She knows what it means that men and women are together. So she'll be able to snitch on them. If she's you and the interior designer starting something funny, she'll realize it's not kosher. She'll realize that kind of action is not just a medical checkup. Yeah, she'll realize this is something that can be told and it's hot news, and she'll realize what it is. On the other hand, she has to be young enough. She's not interested in bia herself. In other words, Rashi says she's too young, and therefore she wasn't yet dressed. That's a lotion of the Gemara with Yetzer Hara. She doesn't have yet that the hormones are not playing in her body, creating the desire. Which means if she's too young, let's say below 6, they say, as far as I remember, she's below 6 or 7. She doesn't know. You can tell the stories. These daddy and mommy were in bed because I don't know something. They were dreaming, whatever. She doesn't understand. So she's not a shomeret. She doesn't know what's going on b'chlal. If she's old enough, let's say she's, for example, 12, 13, she's already already in the story. She can have a boyfriend herself nowadays, yeah? Then she'll join the party. That's like regular two women. You can't do, she's not a shomer, as we say in Hebrew, you can't let the cat look after the cream. You know the Mashenk and a girl who is in between, she's young enough not to want to be with a man, but old enough to know what it's about, that girl can be a shomeres. That girl can be a shomeres. We're talking about a girl under bat mitzvah, but not a baby who doesn't know what's going on. Okay, now the question is, why is it that a man, question, what's the youngest age for bia then? What about a girl who is a very young girl? She's 5, 6, 7. Are you allowed to have yichud with her? No. From the age of 3. Why? Because lo aleinu, we're scared that the person would, as unfortunately is the stories today, he'd abuse her or he'd rape her against her will. Yeah. When she's with a woman and a girl, the woman would not allow you to rape the little one, right? The man. And therefore that's okay. Mashenken, a man and a girl alone, a little girl, from the age of 3, we're scared that he would do things to her. She is powerless. How much child abuse we have nowadays, lo aleinu. And therefore, from the age of 3 is already also to be misyached with a girl. That's halacha. And a boy from the age of 9. Why? Because that's the age of bia. We don't care about, her yetzer. It's your yetzer, and some people are crazy. They can have already an act of bia with a young girl, 4, 5, 6, and therefore we're not, we're playing it safe, and yichud already applies then. A woman and a young girl, that's a different story because the woman, all I'm saying is the Rishonim. I saw it yesterday in the Rishonim. I don't remember who, but I saw that, and that's what we say. Higdilu, we're quoting now from the end of the Mishnah. Higdilu ze yoshen b'ksusoi. So what did we say in the Mishnah? That a father and a daughter, mother and son can be in the same bed, not even dressed. You have a little girl, a baby, a toddler, and you sleep. Some happens to be, you took your shirt off at night, it's hot, and she's, with her diaper, young. It's nothing bad because it's father, daughter, that's okay. The question is obviously up to what stage? Higdilu, because the Mishnah says once grown up, then each one can sleep in the same bed, but properly dressed with your pajama, with separate, some separation. The kama, how old is old enough to be able to sleep in the same bed together, or when do you stop sleeping in the same bed together undressed? Amar Rav Ada bar Rav Aza, Omar Rav Asi. I'm following the gears of the Gemara. Tinokes batesha shoni v'yom echad, a girl who's 9 and a day, 9 years old plus a day. Tinok ben 12 shoni v'yom echad, and a boy the age of 12 and a day. Soon we're going to see why that age, because usually that age for boy and a girl does make a difference. Everything will be explained. Now, Ikadamri, some say, Tinokes bat 12 shoni v'yom echad, Tinok ben 13 v'yom echad. A girl at the age of 12 and a day, meaning when she's bas mitzvah, and that happy note, her father tells her, Ciao bambina, you're not sleeping with me in the bed anymore, definitely not betznias. And the tinoik, a boy, once he's 13 in the day, bar mitzvah is the last time you sleep with mommy in bed. However, that now comes the important part. Either both shiurim, let's talk about the girl, for example. Let's pick the girl as the example. A girl, either 9, we said, in a day, or 12 in a day. Either way, either way, kedei shiyu, and quoting the pasuk which we say in Leil HaSeder, shadayim lechoinu v'sarech tzimeach. The pasuk compares Klal Yisrael to a girl who's growing up, and she begins to show signs of puberty. Shadayim lechoinu, your breasts are already bigger, and you have hair, where she has the hair. So now, which means that when do we say that it's an issue for the girl to be with her father? When she begins to look like a woman. So why is the age an issue? So who cares whether she's 9 or 12? That's exactly the point. Let's start with the second opinion. According to the opinion who says that a 12 years old girl should stop sleeping with daddy in bed, that is that even if she looks like a woman before, it's nothing. She has hair. The hair is like a shuma, it's like a wart with hair. We had that already, where you go, the Daf Yudzayin, I think. It doesn't mean anything. The Shenkin, the other opinion, says no. Of course, from the age of 9, she's not a big girl. She's not bas mitzvah. A girl at the age of 9 who begins to look like a woman is, sexually speaking, a woman. Yes, she is. And at that point, she should sleep separately from her father. The same thing with a boy. A boy between the age of 9 and between the age of 12 and 13, he already looks like a man. He has pubic hair. Then we say, depends who. The first opinion says, stop right there. Hey, the woman, the mother and him should stop sleeping in the same bed. If he has hair there, finish. That's out of the picture, out of the story, because it means he's already a grown man to a point. The other opinion says no, it's just a wart. Until he's 13, he's not really big. That's one opinion. Now there's another opinion. There's another girsa, another version here in the Gemara of the Tosfos Rosh. The Tosfos Rosh says there's no such thing as a 9 years old girl or 12 years old boy. We never found that to be a shiur, a kind of a mark, in the, what's the word I'm looking for? Indication. I looked for a different word. An indication of age by a girl or a boy. And his girsa is, like I told you before, 3 for a girl and 9 for a boy, which makes sense. A girl which is 3 years old, with so many times, she's considered not as a woman, but bia can be done with her. Not that it should be done, but it can be done. It's called bia. And a 9 years old boy can have bia. Technically, his aver, the way his body works, he can already function as a man at the age of 9, and therefore then they should stop, according to that, right? Okay, Omar of Chisda. Now comes of Chisda and gives you a huge caveat here. All this is true, providing that she, the girl, for example, is not ashamed, is not embarrassed to stand in front of her father naked. If the girl at any age, even younger than 9, say, or 12, even younger, a girl 7 years old, she's ashamed to stand in front of her daddy when she's completely naked, then you're not allowed to be in bed with her, even though nobody thinks of anything bad. My time, why? Yetzer al b'sho. She has the yetzer. Doesn't mean that the 7 years old wants to have bia, but she knows what it's about. She has sexual awareness. She knows that, the body means something beyond. It's not this carefree 3 years old who can just, prance around naked in the dining room like, they do. They're very little toddlers. If she's at the age when she knows this is something lot sanua, she has tznius awareness, then even earlier than 9, earlier than 12, earlier than whatever, same thing with a boy. if he would not stand in front of the parent of the opposite gender naked, then he should not be with them in bed either. That's already inappropriate. Weiter. Rav Acha bar Abba. More on the same, more about the little girls. Oh, wow, thank you. Rav Acha bar Abba ichel al Rav Chizda chasani. We saw that story before. Rav Acha bar Abba came to the house of Rav Chizda, his son-in-law. So this is the Zaidi. The Zaidi is visiting the daughter and son-in-law and the Kinderlach, the Egniklach. So now, what did he do? Ichel al Rav Chizda chasne, the son-in-law. Shakle lebas barte. He took his granddaughter, Otvua bekanfe, and he put her in his on his lap, or under his wings, which means he put her on his lap. She sat on Zaidi and was like maybe hugging her. She was sitting like a granddaughter, and she was below bas mitzvah. Omar lay. Now Rav Chizda, the son-in-law, asked the guest, the grandfather, Losova lomar de mekadsha. Don't you know that she was mekudeshes? Don't you know she's a married woman? And as such, she's a married woman. Could be she's only 10, 11, but she's married. They married her off. And therefore, why are you having an Ashes Ish that she's a Mekudeshes? You should stay away from an Ashes Ish. By the way, before we continue, halachically, a man is allowed to kiss his granddaughter, touch his granddaughter, and have yichud also the granddaughter, and live with the granddaughter also. In other words, it goes all generations, up and down. Just like the mother's son is okay to live with, even so too with the grandmother or the granddaughter. However, here we are not yet in the maskana, and he says she's married. Maybe if she's married, it's a different story. Omer lei. So the grandfather answered. Rav Acha bar Abba answered. Avalta lecha de Rav. Is she married? Oh no. Then you are breaking the halacha. You are over on the statement of Rav. The Omer v'yu Omer Rav. V'temer belozo. What did they say at the beginning of Perek Sheni Daf Mem? Also, lodem shikadish is bituk shiktana. A man is not allowed to be mekadish's daughter when she is underage. Until she grows up and she says, "I want that one and not the other one." So if you married off your daughter, although me'ikar din, it's doable, and if you did it, it works, but it's not recommendable. It's not the right thing to do, and you're over divrei chaverecha. So now retorted the son-in-law of Chizda, answered. And he said, Marnami over la de Shmuel. When you're sitting with her on your lap, you're also breaking the halacha. You're going against Shmuel. The Omer Shmuel. Shmuel said, as we saw in Daf Ayin, En mishtamshim be'isha. And one is not allowed to be mishtamish to get a service from a woman. Me'ikar din according to Shmuel, and some people hold of that today. A woman is not allowed to wash your feet, not allowed to wash your hands, even if you don't touch her. She's not allowed to even, let's say, pour wine to your cup. So you're mishtamish when she's sitting in your lap, you're enjoying, even it's nothing chas v'shalom of avera, but you're enjoying, her sitting or cuddling like that. It's called shimush. It's like a service, and therefore that's usher. What you're doing is also usher. Omalei. So now the grandfather answered, "Ano, you know what I think? Ke'idach de Shmuel svirali. I believe in Shmuel's other statement. The Omer Shmuel hakol Hashem shamayim." Shmuel said that as long as you don't have any bad thoughts and that waitress in the restaurant really doesn't interest you, don't care about her, you're sitting there with your wife, Bichlal, or your business partner, comes a lady and she serves you the wine for you, it's absolutely nothing. It's L'Shem Shamayim. You don't have any bad thoughts, you're doing it with your heart to Hashem. And says Rashi, what's L'Shem Shamayim over here? Says Rashi, Ein dati acharei lechibas ishus. I have absolutely no bad thoughts about her thinking of ishus, of any tashmish or any desire. Elachivas kurba, lasas koras ruch leimak shen mechabe v'sbita. So nice. I want to show my daughter, who's her mother, that I like her. That look, I like my enikol, I like my granddaughter, my nechda, and that's why I do it. So I don't have any bad thoughts, and that's up to each and every person's mind. Look at Tosfos. Tosfos says, Says Tosfos, this is what we rely upon nowadays when we get service from women. However, first of all, it's machloekes, the mechaber is more machmir. I don't know what Sfardim hold lamaisa, but I'm not parents. Sfardim allowed to have a woman pouring wine, not so simple. To a man, I don't think so. From what I understood, the Ashkenazim are more lenient. Rav Sternbuch, the Posek Gadol, told me in person that it's okay to get women, let's say, serve you wine, serve you food. I saw, on the other hand, in Sifra Halacha, they say that you have to use your brains, and don't be Don't be smart. Be wise. Don't be smart. In other words, let's say you have a shifcha, you have this nice, good-looking shifcha, and she's washing your feet, and you're alone in the room, even if it's not yichud, stay away from it. In other words, there are services and the services. You have to see the context. It's not always l'shem shamayim. The service is only okay if it's l'shem shamayim. But if you're not really holding l'shem shamayim, you go to this nice spa vacation, and you have this nice-looking woman washing your feet without touching, and it's all nice, and the atmosphere is inviting. So stay away from there. Yeah, you have to use your seichel. Ask your local Orthodox rabbi, because as I said about 5 million times, this is not halacha shiur. This is only Gemara with guidelines for halacha. Halacha lamaisa, find out. Okay, these are the guidelines. Weiter, zog the heilige Mishnah. Ay. Wow, almost. Yeah, is that the second to last Mishnah? I think so. Says the Mishnah, Lo ilamed odom ravak soifrim. Ravak is a single guy who never married, not just single, but a bachelor who never married, as opposed to a divorcee or a widower. He's a guy who's single, free, and happy, and he should not teach children. He should not be a school teacher. He should not be a school teacher, should not be a cheder teacher, shouldn't teach in the Talmud Torah. Can have 10 degrees in education, but he should not teach the children Torah. Let's see why. Any woman, married or not, a woman should not teach children Torah. Yeah, not because women shouldn't learn Torah. She shouldn't teach children anything. Why? Let's see. Rav Lozer says, Af mi she'ein lo isha lo ilamed soifrim. Rav Lozer says, not only a ravak, anybody who doesn't have a woman, a wife, should also not be a school teacher. Obviously, the question is, what did Rav Lozer add, on top of Tanakama? What did he add to the words of Tanakama? Maybe, obviously, that's what I would say. Maybe Rav Lozer is adding not only ravak who never married, even a widower or divorcee, he should not teach either. Any single man shouldn't teach the children. Rabbi Yehuda says, Lo ire ravak behema. A man who never actually married should not be a roya tzoin, should not be a shepherd over behemoths, staying alone with the animals. Says Rashi, shemes avilo, shelois avilo. He should have taiva. Maybe we're choshesh. He's so desperate without a woman. He's a bachelor. He's alone. Maybe he's going to have his eyes on the animal. Wow. Two men should not sleep in the same bed under the same blanket. Why? You guess why. Yes, Obiuda says because they may come to to be very much in fashion today. Chachamim say that it's okay for the ravak to shepherd the animals. That's how they say, to shepherd them, to be the shepherd of the animals. And the men can sleep together, not sleep, can be to be in the same bed under the same blanket. The men may be, and it's okay. We don't suspect them. Let's see what the Gemara says. It argues Rabbi Yehuda. Says the Gemara, my timer. Why can't that nice guy, that 20-something years old, who's very good with children, and he has a degree in chinuch, why can't he teach in a heder, in a local heder? My timer. Why is that? Why not? Maybe because of the kids. He's going to abuse the children. Maybe he's going to have mishkav zochor with the children. No, that's a reason. Says the Gemara, no, you're contradicting yourself if you say that. You cannot. That cannot be the reason. The Atanya, what does it say in the Mishnah? It says, we just saw now. We just saw the Tanakama, that the main opinion of the Mishnah answered back to Rabbi Yehuda. And what did they say? No, we didn't see that. Excuse me. No. Excuse me. The reason why Chachamim matirim, we saw in the Mishnah, the Chachamim say that a man can shepherd animals and two men can be in the same bed together. We don't know why. The Brisa explains the Mishnah as it tends to do. And what does the Brisa explain? Why is it okay for Reuven and Shimon to be together in bed? Because lo nechshedu Yisrael, lo nishkav zocher, v'lo la beima. Chachamim are very positive about Klal Yisrael, and they say what? That Jewish people are not suspected to be mishkav zocher, and neither behema, and therefore it's okay. If so why are you suspecting the teacher with the children? He just said the Jewish people are not suspected to be mishkav zocher, to be that. Ela must be a different reason. Ravak mishum amhosa diyanuki, isha mishum avosa diyanuki. Because of the parents, that's a problem. The parent body. A ravak is going to be too friendly with the mothers of the children. The mothers, they bring them to cheder, And when they bring them to cheder and they take them from cheder, they drive them in, they drive them out, they take them. They can get too friendly with Mr. Teacher, such a nice guy, and that's a problem. And in most cases, they're married women. So because that creates bond, some kind of bonding between the teacher and the mothers, that's why it's not allowed. Isha mishum avas. That explains the woman. A woman should not be should not teach the children because the fathers they bring the sons to cheder. If they bring the sons to cheder, sometimes the father brings them to get friendly with a woman teacher, and that's why that's a problem. I don't know halacha l'maisa because we see the argan note in this, but this is what the Gemara says. This is Mikar Din. Abelazar Oimer. Abelazar, somebody once told me a real horror story actually about a guy who really was going to sin with the ganenet. She didn't want, but he was very serious. Ganenet, you know the ganenet? How do you say ganenet? A childminder, a kindergarten teacher. Yeah, from guy. Shem Shmo was mama. She told me he knew the story. So I'm saying these things do happen. Abelazar Oimer. Abelazar says af mi she'ein. Oh, so Abelazar seems to be adding something on top of Rabbi Yehuda. Excuse me, top of Tanakama. Tanakama says a ravak. What's a ravak? A guy who never married. He should not be a school teacher. Comes Abelazar and says whoever doesn't have a woman. What are you adding? Yeah. So Iboilo, what exactly is Abelazar coming to add? Mi she'ein lo isha klal. Like I told you, maybe Abelazar is coming to say anybody who doesn't have a woman. How could a person be single? Last time I checked, one of three. Either he never married, that's Tanakama. The person who never got married is so desperate or so excited about what he doesn't know, yeah. So then he'd be trying out with the mothers of the children. But maybe according to Tanakama, a guy who's divorced or a widower, maybe he's allowed to. Maybe it's a different story. And on that comes Abelazar and says, no, ein lo isha. What's ein lo isha? He has no wife. Not only single guy as a bachelor, maybe he's also a widower or divorcee. Maybe that's what he's coming to add. Or Dilma, or maybe he's coming to add even more. Wow, that's all new thing. Maybe Abelazar adding much more. The man is married, but you know what? Him and his wife don't live together. Could be even that they're friendly. We all know many couples nowadays in today's world, right? Got a job in New York and she has a job in Chicago and I don't know in LA, and they meet each other once in 2 months. Yeah, that these things in Eretz Yisrael, right? He lives in Ramat Beit Shemesh and he works in New York, right? And he comes home once a month for a few days. These things happen. I know such people. And Mimela, what? Oh, let's say there's a school teacher. He got this amazing teaching job. His wife she stayed back home in I don't know, far away. So then what? Maybe such a man who's married, but his wife is not available for him in a shloya etzloi, maybe that's what Abelazar is coming to add, much more. In other words, not only single people should not be school teachers, even married people whose wives are far away, so they are kind of stuck, maybe even they shouldn't be teaching. Maybe even to that point Abelazar came to add, or maybe not. That's a question. So Shema, so come and listen to the Braisa. Says the Braisa, Af mi sheyesh loy, yeah, the Brisa gets very, very clear over here. Even a man that has a woman he's married, is a married man, she's not staying with him for whichever reason. They fought, they're far away, relocated for the job. He doesn't have the wife with him, day in, day out, night in, night out. And therefore, even such a man should not teach the children. Today, I think there should also be a chashash because of the children, because we see that there were cases of school teachers and children way too many times. So I wouldn't deploy a single guy for that. But because we're going to get to that now, actually. I'm jumping the gun. Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo yireh. So Rabbi Yehuda says that a man who's not married should not be roya a behema, should not shepherd the behema. He may get, unfortunately, attracted to the behema, so desperate, or even two men. It didn't say they should not be in the same room, but they should not be in the same bed. That's what Rabbi Yehuda says, because the Mikatu Mishkav Zachor. Now comes the Chachomim, and they say, no, it's not a problem. Says the Brisa, first wide line, Tanya, Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Lo nechshad Yisrael Mishkav Zachor v'lo ala behema. The Jewish people, such tzaddikim, they're not choshud on Mishkav Zachor. Jewish people are not suspected to have Mishkav Zachor, to have same gender relations, are not a behema. What do you think nowadays? What's your what's your rich opinion? So no, so you're being a little bit cheeky the way you define it, but they're not eating the words. It looks like the sages have not been to Tel Aviv lately. I have visited my hometown, unfortunately, and they decided I'm not going back there. Basically, the Rishonim and the Achronim already say, Ellen, that depends on the time and place. In other words, if we see a a country where Mishkav Zohar is more rampant, even amongst Jewish people, the Peleioid says in his time there were people already, it's not a new thing, even with Jewish people, depends on the time and place and the Chanami. If you live in a time and place where Mishkav Zohar is more, unfortunately, sadly, in fashion, more of a trend, so then two men should not sleep in the same bed. Again, I'm not saying Aloch Almais, ask your rabbi, I don't know, next time, whatever, I don't know if Nogea, but yeah, but that is Enochanami. It's not a set in stone thing, depends on the time and place. Yeah, that's in general, that's it. Now, as I said, we're going to see the Mishnah and a little bit of the Gemara, and then I do want to give an overview inside the Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch, because there are a lot of, I feel that this sugya has a lot of small dots and we have to connect the dots. Yeah, we're going to give a sikum either today or tomorrow, Bezos Hashem, and I hope to get more clarity, Bezos Hashem. Yeah, the Seder. Weiter. Hashem should help us. Hashem should help us. Hashem should help us to bring Mashiach very soon. We need it. He's unbelievable. Weiter. Crazy. Well, crazy because the Torah, we need Torah. We need Torah. Says the Elige Mishnah, Kol shasokavim anoshim, whoever, a person whose job, whose art, his job is parnosa, has to do with women. Yeah, we're going to see all kinds of examples. In other words, it's a person who deals with women as his profession. Let's say he sells cosmetics, one example. And the most important thing, women need him. The women like him because they need his services. Not that he's doing anything osur. You're allowed to sell cosmetics. You're allowed to whatever that is. We're going to see other examples. But because you're around women all the time, according to Rashi and Tosfos, that's the reason to say what? Lo yisyachad im anoshim. That's why he's not allowed to have yichud with women. What? You should ask a question now, my friends. Because he's a guy who works with women, that's why he's not allowed to have yichud with women. So I'm allowed, my business is not with women, believe me. I learned Torah the whole day. So am I allowed to be yichud to women? My business is not, I'm not a makeup artist. So what's the Mishnah saying? So what's the Mishnah saying? There are many explanations. Says Rashi, here the cat's out of the bag. What did I tell you already before about Rashi? According to Rashi, with two women, you're not allowed to have yichud. Why? You're not allowed to. Why? Because they'll cover up for each other. What about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? According to Rashi, it's okay. Because so many women will not cover up. But that guy who is, let's say, the cosmetics seller, the representative for, I don't know, Estee Lauder, that kind of guy, he should not have yichud even with 10, even with 20 women. They like him so much, he's like their guy. And therefore, they will always cover up for him, even if a lot of women. Yeah, that's what Rashi holds. Frek Tosfos argues with Rashi, and Tosfos says, no. We saw, remember the story of the many men and many women in two adjacent rooms? Generally speaking, it's a very tough story there, but generally speaking, what do you see? That if one man is in the room with many women, that is not allowed, even a kosher man. In other words, Tosfos believes that me or you, kosher people, are not allowed to be with many women. So again, so what's the chiddush regarding that guy, the cosmetics guy? Says Tosfos, even ishto yimoi. Wow, that guy's a married guy. He's married to a woman. But even if his wife is with him, even then he's so porous, he's so used to women, he doesn't have that inhibition. And his wife, I don't know what she thinks. Even if his wife is there, I mean, not in the room, but she's home, he'll quickly hop around with the other woman. Yeah, even in the presence of his wife. Wow. Unbelievable. The Rambam says something else. The Rambam says, and I promise I'll show it to you later, but I'll already say it now. He says, even, I just want to read inside, he says that even a person who is with umnusa with anoshim, one second, I want to see it inside. The Rambam says, even a person whose job is with women is not allowed to have yichud with the women. Yeah, even the one who is, yeah, Rambam holds many women are also, and even the one who works with women, he shouldn't say, that's my job, what can I do? It's your job. Look at the words of the Rambam. It doesn't help that you work with women and that's your profession. The Rambam says, Ketzad Yaseh, Isasi Kimon ve'ishto imoy. Rambam argues on Tosfos, and he says, if you sell cosmetics for women, make sure your wife is around all the time. You always have to have your wife with you. Let's say it's whatever, we'll see other professions, the barber for children, and the women come to his barber shop all the time. Get very friendly. Make sure your wife sits in the barber shop all the time. Or find yourself another job. That's what the Rambam says. Let's see now. Let's continue. So there are three different shitas. Let's continue now. Also, a person should not teach his son. Your son is about to choose a profession, and you want to teach him the profession. Don't teach him the profession that has to do with women. Don't get your son into that, right? In other words, don't get your son into the wrong kind of profession, because eventually that would lead into michshoil. Rabbi Meir Oimer. Now, since we speak about professions, now the Mishnah has a lot to say about job, about how's it called? No, there's a job concept. No, there's a word for it. Job seeking. The Mishnah is about how to select the right job. Yeah, what should be the ideal job is the word of the Mishnah. Job counseling. Rabbi Meir Oimer. A person should always teach his son umnus. The Gemara will explain what kind of umnus that is. A profession that is clean and easy. Make sure your son has an easy kind of parnasa. They will definitely leave him more time to learn Torah. Zok Rashi, going to say, excuse me, if I teach my son something that's very easy, maybe he won't be as rich. If he only has that diploma that takes half a year and not a university degree of 10 years, he won't be as rich because he doesn't have the spitzy, sparkling 5-star profession. Maybe he should learn, something hard and make more money. Maybe if he has an easy job, then he has less money. No, says the Mishnah. You should daven to the one above, the only one who is the owner of all the wealth and all the assets in the world. Yeah, have easy profession. You won't make a lot of money. Daven, and you'll have money. No profession in the world doesn't have rich people and poor people in it. Yeah, in other words, every profession in the world has rich people and poor people. You know, I mean, Israelis, whenever they think of money, rich, famous, choshev, they think about lawyer. They think lawyer, they think rich. That's the Israeli mentality. But them lawyers is a half god. So I'll tell you, I personally know of 2 lawyers that at some point in their lives were on the breadline, mamish. They were poor, they needed tzedakah with a choshev university degree from good university. 2 times in my life I've met such people. They can have the best degree in university and ask for tzedakah. I've seen it actually 3 times. I know it personally, yeah? So I'm saying every profession, some people have more, what would you say, more luck. It's not luck. It's yata dishmaya. Some people get yata dishmaya and some don't. Why? That's a good question. Daven, shelo anius mina umnus v'lo shius mina umnus. Yeah, anius, either the poverty or the wealth, they don't come from the profession. The profession and the job is not the source for your wealth or chalila, the lack of it. It's all according to the zchus. Now, I would say zchus means what? Your mitzvahs, your averis, the zchus that you have. Look at Tosfos. The last Tosfos in Kiddushin. According to zchus, it says Tosfos pirush lefi mazoloi. According to the mazel you have from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the mazel that you have, that the parnos is that you can work, you can have the best ideas and open the best high-tech company. 2 high-tech companies, exactly the same. One of them is super successful, the other one is a failure. They ended up with debt. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided. That's the only reason. Says Tosfos, lav, continues Tosfos, the boni chayu mezoini, children, life, and money, lav bizchus talamilsa, b'mazle talamilsa. It's nothing to do with your zchus, it's to do the mazel. I'm not going to the whole philosophy now. It's a mazel from Hashem. You have to dive into Hashem, change my mazel. You have to do something, or you have to do such mitzvah that's above teva, something to overcome the bad mazel, a mitzvah that overrides the teva, the mazel, and Hashem will give you your parnosa. More about the topic of bitochon. Shimon Lozer is giving us a bitochon shmuz. Have you ever seen an animal or a bird that have a profession? Yeah. What was the last time you saw a lion who's a doctor, a duck who's an interior designer? I haven't seen that. They went to Cambridge, to Oxford. Their profession is to sit in the zoo. Then it's comparing to human beings, most animals are parnosa outside. They don't have to go to work and listen to the boss and sit with the computer, right? The animals, they get parnosa automatically from Hashem. And what sense does it make? They, those animals, were only created in the world in order to l'shamesh me, to serve me, the human being. I was created to serve my creator, my maker. So animals in the rungs, yeah, in the hierarchy, animals are below human being. Would make sense that a human being should be mispanis also without tsar, without much worry, without much work. Why is it that the duck just sits in the pond and eats the whatever he eats, and I have to go out to work? What kind? How? Why is that fair? I'm more than him. I should get better. My job requires better conditions, better work conditions. Ella, you know why we have to work? We have to work ourselves off. Shuati masai, because my maisim are bad. What do you mean my maisim, my deeds are bad? I cut off my parnoso. Meaning, who's the first one who did an avera and therefore he had to go out to work? Adam, Adam Arishon. And therefore, the worse we behave, the more we have to work. The more we behave like Adam Arishon at the time of the Chait, the more we copy and emulate the behavior of Adam Arishon by being too connected to the Gashmis, to the Taivas, we have to work harder. And the person who is more connected to Hashem would not have to work that hard. That's bitochen. Abba Gurian Ish Tzadian Oimer, more about job opportunities and what kind of job you should look for. Abba Gurian Ish Tzadian Oimer. Mishum Abba Gurian said on behalf of Abba Gurian, Loi lamed odom es bnoi, the certain professions you better not teach your son. Chamar, a donkey driver, Gamal, a camel driver, Kadar, the potter, yeah, the one who makes the pots is called the potter, right? The potter, yeah. Sapan is a sailor, yeah, and Roye is a shepherd. The Chenveni is the shopkeeper. Why? What's wrong with them? Shomnusan umnus listim. Wow, their job is umnus listim. The job always involves some kind of theft. Why? Why do you say that they steal? So Rashi explains most of these people, we're going to talk about the exception soon, they go from town to town. The Chamar, Gamal, the Kadar also, he sells his pottery from town to town. And those who go away, these people are travelers. And people who travel, many times they camp there in town and they don't always find food that they can buy that's affordable. They go to someone else's field and they chop a few grapes and they chop a few branches to make fire. They're not always careful, and it's very hard for them to be careful and stay away from Gzela because they're not at the comfort of their homes. They are going from town to town to town. They're a bit stuck, out of cash. They go and they take from other people, from that field, from that orchard, and that's why it's a problem. What about the Chenveni? He says the Chenveni, what about him? The Roye also, as we saw in Bavakama, serious business, Roye many, many times takes his animals to graze in the field of other people. It's very hard to keep your sheep and goats grazing only in your balabas field or in the hefker. They tend to go to other fields, and you say, let them go. Now, what about the Chenveni? A Chenveni said the shopkeeper many times he mixes water in the wine, so it's not pure wine, or he mixes all kinds tzroes bechitin inside the chitim. He sells you a kilo of wheat, and in the wheat he puts a few pebbles here and there. I'm sure there are Chenvenim who are honest people, but because that's the trick of the trade, so mimela lechatchila, make sure your son doesn't go for that kind of profession. Don't, if he does this profession counseling with you, don't advise him to go to that line of work. They had weights and measures. Oh, but still, the weights and measures, it's a kilo, but what does the kilo contain? Not pure wheat. Yeah, they didn't, right. Or maybe they tricked them. Yeah, could be, right. Rabbi Yehuda Mishmoi. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda says, on his behalf, Achamorin, he's actually looking, he has a positive spin on this. He says, Achamorin Ruben Reshoim. It's true. Donkey drivers, most of them are Reshoim, because they end up stealing a little bit here, a little bit there. The person becomes a Rosho. It's not sensitive to Yashvis. The Gamolim Ruben Ksherim, the Gamolim, the donkey drivers, most of them are actually kosher people. You know why? Because they go to dangerous places. Where do camels go? To the desert. The desert is a place of listim. It's a place of all kinds of bad animals and also robbers, all kinds of bands of robbers. And they're always scared. And if you're scared, it's good. They daven to Hashem. They daven to Hashem all the time, so most of them are kosher. Hasaponin, Ruban Chasidim. Wow, the sailors are even better. Most of them are not only ksherim, they're Chasidim. Chasidim, they're pious. They're attached to Hashem. Why? Because their sakana is greater. Because their sakana, Rashi says, chomidem bereodo. Because the boat, I'll tell you why. I learned the sugi of a goymel, it explained very well over there. A gamal, in the desert, it's otherwise a good, if you have enough water and food, you're okay. You're scared, maybe a robber would come, maybe a lion would come, maybe a hyena would come, but otherwise you're okay. The sapan in the boat is all the time in a situation of not being stable. Any moment there would be a tempest, there would be a storm, and boom, Titanic #2, right? It's same thing as flying by plane. You know, any given second, poof, the thing just something cracks open, everyone falls. It's more of an immediate, constant danger. So the Saponim are even more attached to Hashem, and that's why most of them are Hasidim. So in a way, you're saying that they're stealing. On the other hand, look at the fact that they're always attached to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Oh, that's one of the most controversial lines in Yiddishkeit. Even the best doctor should go to Gehenom. Why is that? Look at Rashi. Before we go to all the politically correct explanations, says Rashi towards the end of the narrow lines, he's the opposite of the Saponim. He's never scared. He's a doctor. He knows how to take care of his health. He has all these new, methods about health and food and nutrition. And he knows the latest thing, and he knows always what to eat. He's not scared, and he's not mishaber liblamokim. He doesn't daven. Just looks after his health very, very well. Besides that, he sometimes kills people, under the scalpel, and he kills them. Okay, today he has to pay compensation, but still, he sometimes kills people. And also, sometimes he may heal poor people, and he doesn't. What? The person doesn't have medical insurance. I'm not touching him. He's going to die. Who cares? He does medical insurance, so the guy will die from brain tumor, and I will not operate on him. So because of that, that's pshat. The Tiferes Yisrael has a huge piece about how to explain the maskana, as far as I know, I haven't seen the whole thing. The doctor who thinks, I'm the best doctor in town, I'm the best brain surgeon in the world, and he's such a big balgaiva, he's the toiv, he's the best doctor in his own eyes, he should go to Gehenim. He doesn't trust Hashem, he trusts himself. He's so arrogant, so haughty, he is going to Gehenim. Now comes another interesting one. The kosher shetabachim shutfa shelamolik. Even the most kosher amongst the tabochim, the butchers, he's a partner with a molek. What does that mean? So first of all, a butcher may not be a butcher, may be a shoichet. Shoichet is a good thing. A shoichet is a partner with Amalek. Says Rashi, why? Sometimes he has suffix of treifa, cost him a lot of money. This is a self-employed shoichet slash butcher. He's in charge of the meat in town, and sometimes are questionable behemoths, and from some odd reason, nothing to do with his money, nothing to do with his parnosa. He decides that it's kosher, and he feeds people treif, or very questionable. The Tiferes Yisrael says something very nice. Tiferes Yisrael, I saw this fresh off the press this morning. I saw the Tiferes Yisrael. Why a molek? It bothered me. You can say it's a rosho. He's feeding people treif, but why a molek? Why is a molek all of a sudden here in the Mishnah? He says because a shoichet, if he's not careful, because he shechts animals all the time, and he sees blood and he spills blood all the time, he can actually get the midah of cruelty. And Amalek were cruel people. Amalek were the epitome of cruelty. They took innocent nation. They didn't bother them. What did they want from us? We didn't start with them. We didn't even oppress the Palestinians back then. What happened then? We went out of Mitzrayim into the desert. Who are we bothering? We didn't even go to Eretz Yisrael. They're not even living in Eretz Yisrael. They were stam rosho, reshoim arurim, cruel people. So if you're a shoichet, no, they're good. A shoichet can develop the bad midah of blood and blood spilling if he's not careful. So that aspect should be taken into account. Rabbi Neroi Oimer, famous. There's a song like that. Rabbi Neroi Oimer, meniach ani kol umnu shebaoilom, ve'eni melamed es bni ela toiro. Rabbi Neroi says, just go to koilel all day long. That's the best. Trust me. Rabbi Neroi says, I leave behind all professions in the world, and I will only teach my son only Torah. She'odem oichel mischora ba'olam hazeh. A person eats a sachar, the dividends of Torah in this world. V'aken kemes lo'olam habo. and the keren, the principle remains his for the world to come. Other professions, no other professions, it can be very nice and very lucrative and very glitzy when you're young. Person becomes sick or becomes old, or he becomes very sick to the point of being tortured, real pain. He can't work in his profession. He can die out of hunger. Okay, today you have insurance, I know. But if you don't, then a person, once he can't do the profession, he's that's it. Well, what can he do anymore? Torah is not like that. Torah always guards and protects the person from any bad. When he's young, then it protects him from all evil. Torah magnu matzla. Torah is the best protection in the world. And when he's old, it gives him hope. It gives him achris, long-lasting hope for the future. When he's old, he can always learn Torah. Bale Yishunor Yashiv, even when he was in tremendous, unbelievable pain. The doctor said he doesn't believe that this man is sitting and learning because that kind of condition, and in his bed, people are like half dead, screaming from pain. Shlomo Zalman Auerbach had some kind of headache, which is defined, the Latin definition, more than migraines. No, worse. He had some kind of headache, which the medical name, was something to do with suicide. Because people have that headache are suicidal. It's so bad they can't take it. And he had that, he was sitting and learning. So when you're real Gadol b'Torah, even when the person is in real pain, you can still learn Torah. There are Gdolim who had operations with no anesthesia, and they were just thinking and learning. Of Avodah Yosef. It's not a legend, it's known. Because when a person is attached to Torah, even when he's poor, even when he's old, even when he's Surim, can always attach to Torah. When he's young, what does the Torah say about a young person who learns Torah? Those who hope to Hashem, they would always recharge. They would get new energy, new koyach. When he's old, what does it say about the old man who's attached to Torah? What's Yenuvin B'Sheva? They should sprout, they should flourish. Laniv. They should always sprout. How does he say it in English? Yenuvun, fruitful. Yeah, they will flourish in old age. V'chenu oimer b'Avram Avinu. B'Avram Avinu it says V'Avram Zoken. Hashem barachas Avram b'Koil. Hashem blessed Avram with everything when he was old. How do you know Avram Avinu learned Torah? All right. Yeah. So Matzinu Shos Avram Avinu Eskol Torah Kula. Ad Shelo Nitna. Avram Avinu, even before the Torah was given, Avram Avinu was Mekayim. He kept and he fulfilled and he was careful with each and every mitzvah. He knew it Beruach HaKodesh, all the mitzvahs. Shenemar, it says about Avram, Ekev Shashom Avram Bekoili, Vishma Mishmoti, Mitzvos HaKodesh V'Toroisai. Hashem gives Avram the good word, the compliment. Avram Avinu kept my word, mitzvahs, chukim, Torahs, even the Rabbanon, even Erubet Avshilin. He knew all the Rabbanons. 2 points about the one important point about the Mishnah. Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi Tzvi Kushlevsky asked the question about this Mishnah. Rabbi Nohoroi, some say that Rabbi Nohoroi was Rabbi Meir. Meir and Nohoroi are the same thing in Hebrew and Aramaic. So l'chor, there seems to be a contradiction because Rabbi Meir says originally at the beginning of the Mishnah, a person should teach his son a profession, a trade that's easy and good, maybe not the most lucrative, but not profitable, but a trade that's easy. And then Rabbi Nohoroi, who may be the same person, and say, no, I would teach my son only Torah. So who are you? Do you believe in Torah derech eretz, or do you believe like a Bnei Braker, Torah the whole day? So what do you hold of? Says Rosh Hashiva, it's not a stira. Here he speaks in third person, here he speaks in first person. When he talks in general to the public, Odom, a person out there should teach his son umnus. Not everyone can be in Torah the whole day. So a person should teach his son umnus that's easy and good and smooth and easy and not too hard. You're asking me, would I teach my son? From my son, I want the best. From my son, I want only Torah. From my son, Einim Lamed is B'ni Ela Torah. My own son, I want to teach only Torah, nothing else, because Torah would always protect him and Hashem would give him the parnos. That's the answer. That's for others. For me, I want the best. You tell many people, is it bad to be a street cleaner? Mechas v'shalom, street cleaner is a nice guy. You want your own son to be a street cleaner? Lawyer, doctor, does it to me a little bit more. Same thing over here. For others in general, teach whatever you want. My own son, I want only Torah. That's what the Rosh Hashiva said. Yeah, Tono Abonon. Now, no. You know what? Before I'll finish here. I'd finish here. It's a good place to finish, to stop now. Tomorrow is the last shiur. It's not a long Amud. However, tomorrow, Bli Neder, at the beginning of shiur, I'm going to give a halachic summary of Yichud. Okay, not Mamash Halacha L'maaseh L'maaseh, but to see how different things we saw in the Gemara play into the halachic process in Rambam and Shulchan Aruch. Okay, we'll finish now. Now I'm going to an advertisement for the next Masechta for Matbeis. Everybody is welcome to the Siyum. Thank you for arranging the Siyum, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for everybody on Torah Anytime and on YouTube for being with us. Atzlachu, bracha, and an amazing day.